99.9 WEFM.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Well, what do you know? We are back with our final talk segment of the morning, and this one is called Talk to Us. What does that mean? That means call us, give us a call on our WhatsApp number and our landline number, which is the same number, 457-9997. With that, you can get us here to be a part of our discussion. Now, this particular segment is specially for you. Why is it specially for you? Because you get to propose a topic. So you can call us if you wish to discuss something that we discussed earlier. If you have a brand new topic of your own, now is the time to give us a call and have us dive into that. You could bring back up something from this morning. We spoke on various things this morning. If you wish to share or reshare something, you have a couple of seconds to give us a call, or else we'll move on. And I take it that means that we are going to go forward with a topic of our choice, with anything that we wish to discuss. But you can also be a part of that discussion by dialing that same number, 457-9997, or sending us a WhatsApp message.
All right, before you get into that though, you know, there was something that I smiled at last Friday, and I think I noticed it even before when we were talking to Lisa about the finance and what people will be using their money for, and it's interesting to see how packed the bookstores are already. Right? Like as soon as book lists come out, I know my mother was one of those persons. As soon as the book lists come out, she head into the bookstore, right? And it was good to see, because you might have been under the impression that persons might have spent up their money for carnival and all of that. But even before last Friday, well, I noticed it last Friday in particular, but several of the bookstores were already packed. So when you talk about that focus on education and parents at least trying to do their part to ensure that the children have a good education. You see it with some of these parents, because soon as book lists out, I know my mother was one of those persons where as soon as the book list out, she was in the bookstore, and it was like brand new books, because back then for me, we didn't have the book loan scheme. So I had to get brand new books. But that's just a good thing there. And well, I said it early morning before, but like for children who are home, from school and so forth, when these books come home, like I would be excited to get these books, right? And my lit books in particular, like there's nothing like the smell of a brand new book, all right? Y'all think perfume smell nice, try opening a brand new book, but it was just the excitement of being able to open the book and start reading the books. I love geography and love history, so I would also open those books and just delve into them. So children, or even parents, actually, as much as the children are home on vacation, every now and again take away the tablets or the devices from them and say, here, I've already bought your books, go through this book. They don't necessarily have to do the exercises or anything ahead of time. They can if they choose to. Of course, not writing the book, but they can if they choose to. But encourage them to start going into the books. And commendations to those of you parents who are in a position to. I know that it's not going to be the same for every parent. Some parents do have to wait until the end of the month. Some parents do have to wait for the salaries for end of June, end of July, and end of August to organize the children. But for those of you who value education and prioritize education in the lives of your children, because for the most part, this is all you can actually give to them. Commendations to many of you. So
I just want to expand on something you said there, which is to not write in the new books. And I just want to encourage you parents to be mindful of that a little bit more. These children, please don't, even when school is reopened, don't let them write up in the new books, because we've had cases where you're teaching a particular topic and then you open the book to the page where you're supposed to do the worksheet and they already did it at home many times. Right? So please monitor those children and don't allow them to write up in those new books.
Or even if they're working along with the children, let them do it on a separate, because they're probably working along with them and just kept the information in the book. So yeah, and then there's some children those who like school and like book, who will just open the book and start to do their own work. So watch them. You know what is so interesting, because I noticed it with my niece, like when she was an infant, kindergarten, she would come home all excited to do schoolwork, right? On a Friday night, bugging me to come and do homework. But as the years went by, to get her to actually show the same sort of excitement wasn't there. But, I think like when they are that excited when they're younger, parents, as much as it might be draining, because, you come home and you can say, okay, you have the rest of the weekend to do it. Sometimes we have to show the excitement with them, no matter it's a little bit challenging for you, but to keep that excitement going, because when they get older, it's not going to be the same. You have to sometimes be behind them to be in the books and all of that. But it's just so funny, like when they just start school, they're all excited to do schoolwork. They bring in the book and telling you, come, let we do this now. And you're there like, you have 2 days, you have Saturday, you have Sunday, we could do it then. But
I have said that.
But I used to say it with my niece as well. So I said we could take the time. We have time to do it. But it was just something that I noted there with her in particular. So yeah.
All right, I was gonna say something a while ago. It slipped me, but let me just big up those parents who, even though we know it's carnival period and we usually say people are gonna spend the money on carnival, and you see some people outside in the festivities. However, there are some persons who, before they even hit the road, them books done buy, them clothes done buy, everything done pack up in the cupboard, and they're on the street, right? But
it was so funny. So the other day, I do embroidery for one of these schools, right? And the parents organized the uniforms. Now I don't think I'd be lying if I said I got it end of May. And I'm there like,
school never closed yet.
I am there like, but how is the parents so sure that the child not going to grow over the vacation period? The person is insisting that the child is not going to grow. And I'm there like, I had a good laugh at it, because the parent was saying that last year she didn't get the color of the shirt that she wanted. So she saw it and she bought it, and she said she organized it early. But I had a good chuckle with it. And it just goes to show how, that first day of school, when parents send the children out, they want for them to look all brand new. They look
spankadocious.
They send them off and they're looking like the angels, because you have to choose angels. But come see them
when the day is finished.
Exactly. But yeah, you really do have to hand it to these parents who, try their best. They do try their best. And, I know there are instances too where the fathers are not lending the support as they should. So even though the mothers are trying to do their best to organize in time, sometimes they still have to wait on the fathers to do their contribution. And, it's just
unfortunate.
Yes.
But another thing to expand on what Roleza said from earlier, encourage those children to read those textbooks as well. The textbooks are not just for when school opens. It's a really great advantage for them to open those books during the vacation and go through the things that are inside. You could even help them with something that's inside the book. Nothing is wrong with going through a topic before you've done it in school. That just helps them a little bit more. It helps them to go in with a little bit more information, which could be easier for understanding. So don't just leave the books for when school open. It's okay to go through the books. Make sure you care them as well. No cat hairs, no dog hairs, make sure they can. And that goes for the exercise books as well. And when this throughout the school term, try to see what you can do for them as well. And when you buy those school things, you should know your child or children by now. Make sure you put up them pencils because you'll be buying new things again in September for some children.
Yeah, you had to hide them away. But I liked that part of going to school. I liked the getting ready and organizing and everything being new. I really did
as a child or as an adult?
No, as
you
a
mean
child,
when you were a child?
Yeah,
Oh.
as a child, you know, getting ready for back to school. I did enjoy that part of it. Actually, when school started was a whole different story, but the excitement of going back and meeting your friends. And well, when I was growing up, this is to say how old I am, you know, we didn't have phones. Well, I didn't even have a house phone. I didn't have a house phone. We definitely did not have cell phones, you know, so you weren't able to see your friends. We sent letters. Listen, when last y'all got sent a letter to your friend. So back then we would send letters because, you know, it's a long vacation period. You're not going to hear from your friends.
I've never heard of this. This is so interesting.
But you know, I thought about it recently when I was looking at something or the other. And I was listening, but how many children experience opening a letter, like going to the post office and receiving a letter? So like I grew up having pen pals from all over the world, you know, and so when social media came in, I was able to connect with them through social media, you know, to keep abreast and find out how they develop, they things progress with their lives. But there is an excitement of going to the post office and opening a letter. And these children these days don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's true. I know back in, at least, I don't think it happened for me, but my younger brothers at one point in school, they had pen pals. You know, we used to get these boxes. You ever got them? We used to get some boxes in school. I remember getting a lovely teddy bear in a box. I loved her so much until my mother gave her to one of her other children. And then...
You just put it away?
It just got destroyed because those children don't take care of nothing. But okay, right? And one of the things they got in those boxes was somebody from overseas, and they would write to that person. I still remember my brother's friend. His name is Callum. It's unfortunate that they never kept in touch, but he even had a picture of the boy from somewhere over, so I can't remember the country. Yeah, so they had those pen pals, but that's not something that happens anymore as far as I know.
There's and I look at it even in the context of like how often do you get a card from somebody, just them writing their thoughts? I had two friends actually did that for me last year, and I was like, you know, I don't even know how some people handwriting look anymore because of the fact that we don't see letters, we don't get postcards. Everything is through WhatsApp, basically, you know, through some other form of social media. But you know, there is a joy to, and I can't get rid of the cards then, because the fact that they thought about going and purchasing a card and writing inside of the card, you know, I can't throw them away. And these are things that it's so weird because it's nostalgic now. And I ain't even that old, folks, but it's nostalgic now. But
it's really good when you keep things like that, because for the sender as well, when they hear that you're keeping this thing that they sent them, they feel good. I remember there was this Mother's Day, and I got a card. We made some cards to my grandmother. We made some cards, and I gave one to my grandmother. And I remember years later going to her house and seeing it hung up there, and I felt good that she kept it there. You know?
That's my mother as well. My mother has like everything that we did. From like in preschool and so forth, all the things that we did, she has all of those.
Amazing.
And even I kept this thing that my niece, she wrote something, but I being her best auntie or something or the other, something that she did when she was under 6, when she's learning to write. So the handwriting was like really horrible, but I kept it, and it's sentimental to me, you know, so I can't get rid of stuff like that. Yeah. But.
Mini hoarders.
No, I hoard for good things, all right? For good things. There are hoarders.
I'm sure all hoarders tell themselves that.
No. I hoard for good things.
All right, then.
This person saying good morning, Roleza. I wonder if this is the person I met in town Monday when I swore I thought it was Hillocks to send, and it's Bascom. Anyways, in case your name was Bascom and not Hillocks, good morning to you.
All right, then there ends our discussion for our Talk to Us segment here this morning. We are now going to head straight into our community dateline.